Alright, guys. Lower bracket finals time. Clem in the top left side of Rainfall. Ragnarok, aka SHIN, in the bottom right. Apologies for this effect, guys. This is only in the main base, nowhere else. This version of the map is the first beta version that was played in this tournament. It's since been fixed. It doesn't look as shiny and crazy. I actually think it's kind of adorable. The first version here of the water visual with the reflections on it and everything. But I know some people get super thrown off by that. Don't worry, most of the game will be happening elsewhere, where you can see it looks a lot more normal and the map looks much nicer. Of course, this is Rainfall to start this best of 7. SHIN in the bottom right, Clem in the top left, and it's going to be pretty standard openings. Looks like a hatch gas pool for SHIN. Clem going for a barracks gas expand. Does he have CV scout? I feel like he probably does, just because he's playing SHIN, and SHIN is a bit of a wild man. But I wonder what happens in this matchup. Historically, Clem cannot get touched by SHIN. It's not even close. But then the famous match, was it Dallas last year? I think it was Dallas, where he went Infestors, and Clem's answer to Infestors, we saw had not changed since the year earlier when I played him in that famous Infestor match. And I say famous in my own head, no one else's, where Clem repeatedly walked into my fungals, threw away about 60 Marines, and every time he'd go, oh, he has fungals, and then he'd try to attack more with Marines, because remember, Clem's answer to fungal is, oh, I bet you don't have more of those. And he'll just stim at you and eat fungals. Clem has a little bit of 4GG in him, you know? He has a little bit of that Terran player who's like, oh, I mean, you just used 2 fungals. Surely you don't have any more. And he'll just roll the dice and run and get another pack of Marines fungled to their death. Obviously, that was a really fun match where SHIN kind of popularized Infestors a little bit there, showing that a guy like him who people thought couldn't stand a chance against Clem actually could. He also, a few years prior, did quite well against Clem with a lot of roach timing attacks and just sneaky builds in general. But these days, Clem feels almost completely immune to those builds. Like, they seem to just never find success against him. Oh my, what is this, guys? Still mining gas after starting Ling Speed. SHIN, what are we doing, mate? Pap's going for an early lair here, going for one of his famous Ling Speed into roach builds that he's been loving lately. It's very hard to discern with SHIN's builds if he's going to all in or not. He doesn't build an economy hatchery production as fast as a lot of Zergs, but it's just so difficult to tell if he's going to all in or not. Now, Clem goes for that creep tumor, will not be able to get it as he was already 2 damaged. So very good choice. If the Reaper overextends, you can get a creep tumor down without him sniping it, unless he's willing to sacrifice the Reaper, which of course he's not. Third command center goes down. Factory's going to be swapping over. And a second barracks goes down, so it's a 2-1-1. 3 command center build. Very good against 2 base openings. Good to see Clem bringing this back. I think we'll see a lair in a moment in this main base. Third queen starts on the natural. Injects, lots of drones. And there we go. Lair does go down. Yeah, I think we'll see a roach horn in the entrance soon as well. Third hatchery will go down. And then it looks like you've got to commit to something really hard. And watch SHIN just build an Evo chamber and start droning a third base. Like, it's so weird watching this build because it's so difficult for the Terran to figure out what you're doing. And that's the genius of it. It's not the most perfect roach rush because you're making Ling Speed. Why would you do that? It's not the most perfect muta rush because your lair's not all that early. But it could be literally anything. Almost always you'll go roach horn. 2 gases on this natural should be coming up next as well. As he continues to drone, a few more Zerglings do come out. Stim's on the way, starport building next to that factory with the reactor where the swap will happen for the first 2 medevacs. Double gas goes up on the natural. Chat says, I remember when SHIN was just a gimmicky Zerg that all-ins people and wins that way. Well, he still loves his all-ins and his timing attacks, but he's definitely prolonged them into the mid-game, and his early-late game play against Terran is incredibly powerful. Keep in mind, it falls off. He does still headbutt when it gets past a certain stage. There's like a moment in TvZ where he's like, I gotta win now. And you can see he goes from urgent to panicky and basically just starts throwing units into the meat grinder. Seen it against Maru more often than Clem. It's actually Maru seems to really bring that out. Those who don't know, of course, SHIN never winning a competitive series against Maru, whereas he's beaten Clem plenty of times over the years. Reaper goes down, no real damage, but this is only a 2 Hellion opening, guys. This is the real pressure. First 2 medevacs and a pack of Marines about to come out. They're going to load up and push forwards. As I said, he's always going to build the Evo. He's going to go 3 gas. He's going to even take a 4th. This could be non-stop Roach Ravager Zergling and turn into an all-in. This also could literally just be Shin builds 15 roaches, 12 roaches to defend the Marines, and then just macros up. And I cannot tell, even when I'm observing, which way he's going to go. Therefore, it is literally impossible for Clem, his opponent, to know. So Clem's just got to read this as he goes. Gets an SCV. Clem's going to have to cancel the next one, lift the command center. So a bit of delayed SCV production, as well as 1 kill. Not bad. Whoa! Ling's getting on top of the rally. Clem caught with his pants around his ankles. He's going to lose a Hellion. Have to pull the SCVs. That depot's going to go down as well. Really nice harassment. Roaches chasing as well. More roaches building. It looks like he's thinking about diving here. It's 5 more roaches. Too much. Like, is he droning or is he building roaches, guys? He's building more drones and an Evo chamber, but also more roaches. Is he all in or not? You tell me. I think the joy of this build is that he doesn't know either. He's just doing things. And it's so hard for Clem to choose a response because he's feeling it out as well. Shin is going, okay, made you stim, made you pull your workers, I'll run away. And he says, I'll go back to droning. That's fine. As long as I'm forcing worker pulls, picking off depots. But he's not making ravages. He's got 600 gas, which means if he's not going to make ravages, because they would be so good in this position, then he should be going infestation pit. He's got so much gas. If he can get a few infestors out, plus 2 carapace, that's going to be a massive advantage going into the mid game. Because this sort of game is where it's always the drops catching you out of position that are the problem. And infestors, fungal, shut that down. Yeah, I guess by the time this one goes out on YouTube, people will have already seen the GSL finals. I didn't want to spoil that one, Nunung, but I think it's enough days have passed, so you're totally right. Shin did have a very, very impressive win over Mara recently. Sorry for the GSL spoilers, but it's been a while now. That broke a massive streak of losing. Massive streak. Ooh, okay. Friendly fire takes out an SCV, not too bad. Look at all this gas, though. Shin's just sitting on this gas. The infestation pit is so cheap. Unless he's planning to go for a 1-1 or 1-2 roach all in, I think he's leaving money on the table right now. I guess 7 Ravagers and go all in is the play, though. He was saving the gas for a reason. Defensively, infestors are good. Infestors are nearly worthless at busting a Terran. You can't really get them in range to land any big fungals when the Terran's pre-spread, sieged up. So if you are going aggressive, it's the right call, and he is going aggressive. And no way! The Medevacs barely missed the army! He sees him now. Okay, he sees him now. Does the drop continue across the map? No, Clem sends it home. He stims his units. He's stimmed them way too early, but his tanks are really well placed. That factory needs to run. He's going to lift the factory. Dude, if that factory goes down, it's actually kind of huge. He's picking off a lot of these SCVs. The Overseer comes forward. He's going to pile the tank on the left. The tank on the right still doing very well. The SCVs are getting gunned down as well. Did the factory die, guys? No, the factory floated away. It's trying to land behind this. The Marine Marauder does try to engage. The Roach Ravager Zergling has to be careful. There's a tank firing, but only on the northern side of that line, not in the center of mass. The Biles are coming down. He's got it to keep the Ravagers alive. Shin cannot let the bio trade on his Ravagers. He's going to try and keep skirmishing. If Clem has to stim another time, even with the medevac count there, it gets really problematic. 4th Command Center is building on the right side. That Overlord does get caught. The Overseer survives, pulls to the left. More Roaches, Ravagers, Zerglings pulling in. Plus 2 Carapace is almost here. He's way ahead on the upgrades. Is Shin way ahead, but he can't wait for plus 2 Carapace, can he? Well, 15 seconds. I guess he can, actually. Scans being used defensively. Ooh, that's going to be big, though. Shin's going to have to pull the trigger. 8 Marines are going to force him to. Mass Roach Ravager comes forward. A few Biles do break the bio line. You can see the Biles spreading across, though. Massive spready on the Biles. Lands on the Marine Marauder. Only 1 tank left. It goes down. This time the SCVs didn't pull. The Marines will kill the 4th base. Shin says, I don't care, mate. You are all in. I am all in anyway. Second factory is about to burn down in that natural. SCVs and Marines. You can see the Biles spreading across this bio, forcing it to constantly disengage. The SCVs get slaughtered. At the same time, it looks like he should be able to defend with Roaches and Queens. He's pulling his Queens over there to defend. There's only 4 Queens in this game. The Ravagers picking off the depots. The drop taking massive damage. It's almost going to go down there. Looks like it will just barely escape. Ravager's going to clear up this entrance. Shin, he doesn't need to go for the all-in, but he senses victory is near. And the time is now. He's going to bile down the tank. Biles landing even on the lib as it sieges. You can just see, where the hell do you go to dodge the Biles? They're landing absolutely everywhere. The Liberator goes down. The tank's taking a bit of damage out on those Roaches and Ravagers without even sieging up. Clem, though, he is down 60-70 supply. The Roach Ravager rally is endless. That plus 2 Carapace advantage also really helping these units out. I love the bio placement for Shin. I think so many people put all their biles on one spot with rapid fire. SHIN has been very, very good at only putting 3 biles per siege tank and spreading the rest across the bio non-stop. Really well played by him. And when your opponent's not even mining off their natural, looks like time slipping out of the hourglass. CLEM has to tap out. Nice move for SHIN there. Really well played. And such a good spread of bars. You can see he wasn't just putting the biles on his opponent, he was spreading them and putting them scattered in front, because often you'll drop biles and the Terran will start a step forwards, dodging all the biles and killing your Ravagers in the process. But he was like, here's 3 biles in front of you, 3 biles behind, and 5 spread across your bio. Good luck with that. And SHIN and CLEM's like, I need to just move my whole army way out of position and lose a ton of attacking time. Beautiful move. All right, guys. Game 2 is going to be on Wavebreaker. Heck yeah. Don't see too much of this match. This map, sorry. Ragnarok in the bottom left, CLEM in the top right. This map's awesome, man. It's got some really unique features. You expand in front of your main base. And then you can expand left and then right, but then you really have to choose which way do you expand. Do you go, if you're CLEM, do you split the map horizontally? I say horizontally, I mean vertically. Or do you split it horizontally and expand up here to this top left side? It's purely up to the players, and you can, your natural goes forwards, but you can get hit, drops on the left or drops on the main. We don't see this too much these days in StarCraft. It's really cool though. It just adds a slightly different feel to the play. I do miss King Sejong Station. Just one of those maps that I have so many good memories on. Bad memories as well. Good memories, bad memories. Just really dynamic placement of things, and that the map making does kind of vary. Obviously, these are all the older versions of these maps. They've all been edited and slightly updated since then. Avex has been in the chat face palming all day today. He's made a bunch of these maps saying, oh, this is the old version. This is the old version again. And I'm like, I know, mate. Wardy didn't drop the replays until a few weeks after the tournament was over, as you'd expect. You can't drop replays every other day. He dropped a massive replay pack the other week, and we are getting to it now. But these maps have almost all had slight quality of life updates and things since what we're seeing here. But you do get a good feeling for the flavor of the map. Avex in chat says, this is the old... Oh, you got to it first. Yeah, no worries, Avex. We appreciate you, map makers. And I know it hurts when you put a ton of effort into something and then the older, not as good version keeps getting shown to everyone. That's how directors must feel, right? When the studio makes them do a really crappy cut of it. And they're like, please watch the director's cut. It's so much better. Watch the one with the depressing ending, not the stupid Hollywood ending. Right, Reaper comes in. Committing to that drone is crazy. But it's a successful crazy. SHIN, a little slow to try and do the spore trick there. Oh my gosh, CLEM. Not quite used to the map there. Zigged when he should have zagged. And now, even though you lose a drone, you kill the Reaper, get your creep tubing down. It's a good start for SHIN. CLEM also SCV scouted, so he is a little behind from where he'd like to be in a normal game. Third command center is coming up as well. Alright, so this is interesting, guys. He's killed the Reaper, and he said, I don't need Ling speed. Oh, he's going to go Mutalisks. Cool. We're playing Mutaling Bane. Lair should start right now. Alright, he wants to prioritize drones first. Yeah. Lair. So he's going to go Lair. If you want to go Mutas, you usually want to drop a second gas, but I think he's mined so much off one, he might not need to. No, he's going to go Ling speed. So yeah, he has to get a second gas right now if he wants to go Mutas. I have a feeling, is he just going to do the exact same build, guys? There goes the second gas. It still feels like Mutas to me, but part of me is like, it is SHIN, and every single game he plays Ling speed, barely uses it, and then just makes roaches, and then does this like kind of carapace Roach Ravager Zergling push like from that last game. If he's doing that, of course, the Roach Horn will drop very soon, whereas if he's playing Mutas, I'll try to skip on it. Third command center comes up. It's 2-1-1 once again. This is one of the better builds against Mutalisks. Third hatchery on the right side. CLEM splits his Hellion, so he spots that pretty early. Alright, Lair's finished. SHIN should be going Spire now. A little distracted by the Hellions. Where is that Spire, guys? Okay, there. Where? Where? Am I blind, guys? Oh, hello. Oh, he's dropping creep up there. So I was like, where is it? Look at that, guys. Drops creep. He figures, oh, if you scan here or something, or back here in the main, There's a nice little hiding spot off to the side of the base while it's still relatively protected inside the main. Baneley Nest goes down as well. Third barracks is building. It's going to swap that over onto the starport once the 2 medevacs are out. But Clem does not have the gas for the second medevac. Is he aware of this? How quick? There we go. He queues up the second medevac, so he is aware. Nothing worse than as a Terran committing to a double marine stim drop, and then the first medevac pops out, and you're like, okay, cool, where's the second? And you realize it's not even building. That is a terrible feeling. You go across with an 8 marine drop rather than a 16 marine drop. You really feel like you've done a doo-doo, but Clem seems to always have a very good awareness. He almost never forgets things. He used to always forget concussive shells. 2023, it's just like since that era, it feels like Clem almost never forgets upgrades of any sort. Tat says it's funny he didn't place the spire directly on the little thing. I know, I really wanted him to line that up as well. It's a nice, beautiful little circle as well. It would have perfectly lined up. Oh, dude, does he not know about the 2-on-1? Guys, he did make an overseer, but he saw the barracks. Oh, he's got 40 Zerglings, never mind. I was like, damn, there's no Banes. 40 Zerglings, plus Mutas. Oh, dude, this is huge. If you gotta pull the Queens back, you gotta bait him in. Bait him in, you need the Mutas. He needs all the Mutas together to shut this down. Clem senses something's up. Clem smells something funny. Do one of you boys fart? I smell something funny around here. That's bug excrement, and it's running straight at you. The Mutas need to not commit, though. Oh, they do. 2 Mutas get focused down immediately, but look at that. He gets one of the medevacs instantly. 1 medevac down. 2 medevacs will be going down. It does cost you 3 Mutalisks, but that is worth it, man. That is worth it to put Clem in the naughty corner. I don't think you can take this fight, though. That's a no-no. Clem 3 barracks production is too good here. He swapped the 3rd barracks over with the reactor. Few SCVs do go down, though. Still enough Mutas to one-shot SCVs. Oh, I don't know about this with the Mutas, man. He does get a few more Marines, but this is dangerous. Shin could be getting a bit more damage here. I've noticed that players, like, these days so rarely play Mutas. You do notice they're not as good with them as they used to be. I'm not kind of hating on Shin here. I know. You guys are like, oh, hey, no, let's be real. I know what this is, because when I play Mutas as well, I used to play Mutas every day in Heart of the Swarm, every single game, and you'd get really smooth at macroing and microing your Mutas at the same time. And these days, not only does the Terran have more earlier stim Marines out, and you're playing a guy like Clem who's so good at intercepting, but it's a lot more macro to manage at home, and you're just not as in practice with those Mutas. So I feel like maybe he could have got 3 or 4 more SCVs if those Mutas just went straight towards the natural mineral line and main after going up that ledge. But still, he's only lost the initial 3 Mutas, which is great. 1-1 upgrades are actually not far behind. Normally players are so behind on these upgrades. Whereas you could see, Carapace halfway done when +2 bio weapons starts. Well done to that Hellion, by the way. Denying that creep's really important. Remember, there's only 4 queens in this map. They're basically all on injecting duty. None of them are actually spreading creep. So if these active tumors go down, he has to kind of pull an injecting queen, tell it to put down an active creep tumor. It's annoying for Shin to do that. Clem pushing him back to his side. Bane speed has finished, as has +1 flyer weapons. Carapace is on the way now as well. I love the Ling run by. Getting ready on that base. Tank on the high ground isn't going to cover it fully. Only a little bit. See, it only covers really the left 2 mineral patches. The Lings have evaded it. Mutas Zergling's going to think about going in here. Mutas could go after Chadhammer, but no, the Marines are there. Mutas will run away. 5th base of Zerg under fire. This is deep on the Zerg side of the map, though. One has to question. Have you not just overextended, mate? Good luck getting home with that. And the Mutas, of course, are going to try and focus. He should try to dance with the Mutas so they can't get focused, because you know Clem's going to try to. But look at that. Clem's Reinforce comes in, snaps a Mutalisk, and saves the day. Good fight for Shin, but losing his 5th base makes it costly. 2-2 starts for Shin. Smooth upgrade timing, dude. Shin is looking really nice. Gets himself the medevac as well. His movement's great, but we need more Zerglings. He should be clicking 5-6 Lings in this base, 5-6 Lings in this base, 5-6 Lings in this base almost constantly. This is one of the big things you guys have heard me be very critical of. Top pros, when they play Mutaling Bane, they think the Mutas are the only unit that's allowed to counterattack. I love the Lings that were waiting on the other side, but especially the moment Clem starts moving out to attack you, I think he should be taking advantage of that. He gets himself an SCV, but the turrets do finish. Infestation Pit's decently timed considering. 1-1's done for the Mutalisks. No +2 He might just pause there as your gas is kind of starved and you want to spend it towards Hive, more Banelings, all the good stuff. In these sorts of games, often the Terran optimizes their defense only for mutas, not for anything else, but I think Clem's done a good job of covering everything. Sensor towers, marines, turrets, his units are spread often in 3 places at once. Like, he's kind of denying Zerg map vision without really going that far on the map, and he's also keeping Shin so busy focused on the army. The creep's just not been spreading, and these site blockers are actually ruining his ability to spread that creep. He never replaced the creep on the left either, so often the advantage of Mutiling Bane is map control. In this game, that map control doesn't really exist. Massive push on the left side. Clem wants to fight with 2-2 versus 1-1. His weakness is his Widow Mines are not set up on the front right now. Hellbat Marine's going to poke forward. Massling Bane! Oh no, Clem! Clem was not watching the mutas fly in. They're going to take out the turrets. And those Marines go down. He's F2ing his army home right now. Beautiful play here. I love the Ling Bane counterattack. Mutas would have done nothing on their own. But Shin waits for him to overextend. Oh, I thought he wasn't going to get the command center. Gets the command center, clears up a bunch of infrastructure. The Ling Bane should run away. And the Muta's just going to clear some gases, clear some depots. The Lings should get out of there. And the Muta's going to go a bit deeper. Kitty, kitty, kitty! The Muta's flying into that main base. That is the battle call of the Mutalist guys. Deeper, deeper into the base. Into the breach, boys! Ooh, he's going to contaminate and focus on eBay. Unfortunately, it's the wrong engineering bay. It's the armor, not the attack, and the upgrade just started, so it's not as high value as he might have thought it was. He will take out both eBays, still delaying the upgrades by quite some time. That is not bad at all, but he does leave the armory. Oh no, he's going to focus the armory as well. There's not many Marines, and a Thor on its own is just not that much. He gets the armory, denies the +2. Beautiful play. Okay, how many mutas has he lost, guys? 8. Dude, wait, did he only just lose 4 or 5 mutas in that whole attack? Thors suck at killing mutas. If the Thor was in single fire mode, it legitimately would have killed more. But the thing is, the reason you keep the Thor in splash damage is it forces the Mutalisks to not clump up. If they clump up, the splash damage does crazy damage, but Shin did what he had to do there, denied the Thor's splash damage. Lots of Widow Mines still on this left side. Clem, though, catches the Zergling run by. Well played. 3 3s on the way. No Adrenal, no Ultra Cavern. I think Ultras would solve this game kind of well right now. Adrenal is necessary when you're maxed on Mutiling Bane. But he's low on gas, is Shin. 87 workers to 68 right now. Clem is going to continue to try and push here. Remember, Clem's only mining 3 bases right now, but he's denying this one. Lings are starting to engage over there as well. The Lings are going in on this side, trying to deny that expansion one more time. This expansion, big trouble. That's a lot of Banelings clumped up, attacking kind of around a corner. Not the best angle by any means. Ultra Cavern's building. I don't think Adrenal Glands ever gets made in this game because he's just going to be too distracted. Clem just taking the fight to him. The Mutas, the Lings, overwhelming right here. Widowmine does clear the front line of Banelings. You got to be careful though. The next one's firing on the Overseer and the Zerglings. The Banelings unable to connect. He's got to get out of here. He doesn't have... Where are the Banes? Where are the Banes? Okay, the Banes are all on the other side of the map. There's 28 Banes. That means he has no Banes at home. No Banes at home means GG. He has no Banelings here. This ball of Marines is unkillable. He needs to give ground up. Shin realizes a lot of players would have headbutted in there. Oh, that Widowmine just killed 10 Banes and a handful of Zerglings. Even though he's only mining 3 bases, Clem trades 7,000 resources more efficient. This is why you need Ultras now. Chitinous plating is upgrading, but no Adrenal, no Chitinous. 3-3 only now restarting though. The upgrade's miles ahead for the Zerg. Shin had a lot of money. He can try to remax, but he's so far behind on that supply right now, and that's a really scary problem. The fight up there probably should have given that northern base away. Choosing a fight there, lost him 7,000 resources. He's so far behind in the trading. The Banelings rolling into the choke point. He's got to spread his army out. He can't be going in a big ball like this, I don't think. And yet, deep on creep, Clem may have given him the opportunity. Mutas in the top left, Banelings getting spread against. Dude, the spreadies from Clem are absolutely insane. Remember, there's still no Adrenal Glands. Burrow does get made. Lings and Mutas on top of the rally as well. Clem's supply has massively dipped. And I think the 80 worker economy of Shin, with way more minerals coming in per minute, is now looking pretty darn good. If you could get a few Lings into the rally and this orbital, that's where he could get massive value. Okay, Mutas should be able to clean that Widow Mine, but of course, he's got Marines hot on his tail. Clem sees bases going up in the corners. This base is being retaken here. Clem is going to try to deny that while securing this one. He's going to send a Reddit point medevac to go drop the bottom right corner. But Shin remembered, This is a Terran in a desperate spot. Even a handful of Zerglings, it's almost worthless, those Zerglings. They cost you nothing. You don't care if they die, but look at the damage. They're killing turrets, 5 SCVs, masses of mining time, denying one of the few mining bases of CLEM. And if you just keep clicking Zerglings in here, maybe even a few Banelings at some point, it could be massive. Lings are also ready in the bottom right side, at least a few of them. But remember, no adrenal glands. It started now. Adrenal has started. Even in the midst of everything. It starts. That's a massive move. Ultras are coming out now with Kindness Plating and 3-3. No Anabolic Synthesis finished just yet, but it's almost there. He's remembering everything. Dude, SHIN with the 2-base Muta build taking CLEM right now on a ride. And that ride's to a town that starts with D and ends with Ick. That's right, guys. It's a town Terran players don't like going to, but Zergs love to take them there. And the Lings are going to go in and try and kill some SCVs on that base as well. Ooh. Burrow's done. He can also be annoying with Burrow, forcing more scans as well. I think right now, if you fight before 3-3 of Terran, I don't think there's anything CLEM can do against these Ultras. Space Cows, as we used to call them. Buffalo, the big boys. They're going to be a real problem for him. He needs some big Widow Mines on this Ling Bane. Widow Mine's not even burrowed there. The Banes just click on it, take the Widow Mine out before it can even burrow. Muta's coming forward as well. The Libs will help out a little bit. Some Zerglings get on the mineral line. Ling Bane rolling forward. The Ultras keep stopping a little bit to stop this, to stop it, to shoot this or that. Mutas will take out the command center, while the Ultra Bane says, come and defend your base at your own risk. CLEM runs forward, but that is 3-3 Ultra Ling Bane against 2-2 Marine Marauder Thor. Dude, I love the Overseer Muta going in, denying the upgrades with the Contaminate. Actually, sorry, 3-3 was done for CLEM at the end there. My bad. It had caught up in the upgrades. It didn't matter. SHIN had too much. But I love that Contaminate into snipe down the upgrades, realizing most Zergs will just run from a Thor. But he said, if there's no Marines here, I can stop and kill all your upgrades. And just played an excellent game. SHIN there. GG. Well played. Mutas on Wavebreaker. Take him to a 2-0 lead. All right, guys. We've got CLEM in the bottom left side of the map. Ragnarok in the top right, up 2-0. Who the hell was expecting that? Now, I'm kind of both excited but also upset, guys, because we are going on to Blackrock, a map where, if you look around the map, you're going to notice, what is this? If you see planks, that means units can drop on this high ground. And there's a few of these scattered all around the map. I think there's one over here somewhere. Yep, there's a giant one here. So you can actually put tanks on these ledges, guys. They're not right in the middle, but off towards like the sides of the map. Yeah, there's like one here. Is there one down here? Yeah, there's one here. There's one here as well. So that means there should be one like up here somewhere. Yep, one over here. There's a few of these little patches around where you can drop tanks on these little ledges and actually siege units there up here as well. So I would love to see CLEM use it. We pointed this out to him before this match. Unfortunately, he's down 0-2, so I don't think he'll be getting too experimental, especially since SHIN has been not really massing Ling Bane. He's been playing either Mutas or Roaches, and both of those can deal with tanks on the high ground. It would only be if a Zerg was playing like pure Queen Ling Bane up to Ultra or something, where that could be really sick. Pig, when you do another bronze to GM, well, we're actually working on finishing the Protoss one right now. So got to get to finish that one that I'd left hanging. And I figured I'll just show a few builds, probably on my main account, but just kind of showcasing some different builds that are pretty solid to get you through Masters in GM. Put that up as the final section for that. But everything's up to date, so unless there's a big balance patch or something, I don't really see there being a good reason to redo the other ones. They're all so good at holding up to date. People always ask me that. And definitely we could do some other guides, though. Put out a community post on our Pig Coaching channel about it not too long ago. Just asking people what specifically they might be more interested in, because when you've already got 2 bronze to GMs for each race that already show how to play pretty much every style in the game, it feels a bit redundant to just redo the same material. Oh, he's going to go inject. I thought he was going to go Creep Tumor there. Okay, not bad, not bad. It's a 15-15, by the way, guys. So I guess double inject does make sense with 15-15. You can go Creep Tumor first. See what happens. All right, Reaper's going to scout. He's going to rotate around here. We try and get up into the main. Yeah. See if he can get a scout off. Queen is there. Creep Tumor is fresh. Just going to click on it. CLEM doesn't want to lose this, though. And oh, watch out, buddy. Oh, decapitated. Oh, absolutely wrecked, man. It's 2 games in a row. CLEM's lost his Reaper. I can guarantee you, if we could see CLEM's camera right now, he'd be triggered. He'd be like, oh, super mad. He is not playing his best StarCraft. I mean, he's playing good. It's just the Reapers 2 games in a row. And then just getting caught off guard by Shin's crazy builds. And this time, Shin still takes a similar build in that he takes... The third's a little earlier. I still think we're going to see Roach Warren and 2 more gases in a moment. Watch this. Natural's oversaturated. As he starts to float money, Roach Warren goes down. Yep. Beautiful. I mean, he's just got this formula right now. I remember when I was first watching this build, I was like, it's so bad. But this one I actually like a bit better. But, well, number one, I like it anyway, because obviously he keeps... No one knows how to react when he's doing it. That's the real beauty of it, because it's not directly efficient, but it's so flexible and can do so many different things. This one, though, is more of a classic 2-base Roach opening. It's a 3rd base coming up, but of course, it's going to be a while till he can saturate it. Could do a big Roach push off of this, and into a Viking opening, it would actually be excellent. Dude, if Clem's got to be careful, he's not building Banshees or anything. If Shin sees this, which, I mean, obviously is going to finish and fly into the Viking, it will die, but it's going to see, like, you don't have a Banshee, you don't have any safety. I don't think you need much excuse to commit to mass Roach Ravager here. If Shin just builds nothing but Roach Ravager from here, I don't know what Clem can do. Unless he starts building tanks, he'll just die. 4 Roaches building. Shin's building more Overlords, more Roaches. Queens are solid in the wall off. I love that he's got a 2-hole wall off, guys. 2 in the pink, 1 in the... What? Creep Trim is kind of purple. Creep Spread, sorry, is kind of purplish, not really pink anyway, so... Doesn't really work out. Carapace starts up. Oh, he's still going Carapace. I don't think he should wait for the Carapace. Viking's going to go around the right side, look for the Overlord. I don't think the Carapace is necessary. I feel like more Roaches, more Ravagers, and just commit. Then again... Oh, he baits the Hellions in. How many drones do they kill? Good drone pull away. Smooth. And you know what? He goes back to droning. And Clem's building tanks and bunkers. As he should. Clem sees only 2 bases of work. As he's building a bunker, he's making tanks. And you're going to pressure him. But now you're going double upgrades, building drones. Nice play. Really nice play. He's also put his Overlords back to safety. So the Viking knows he's not going to find Overlords. He's going to go in for the drone harass, which is adorable. Gets a creep tumor, runs away. Does a Queen beat a Viking, guys? I actually have no idea. If they both just stand and fight, does the Queen win that fight? 3 barracks there, 4th and 5th coming up. 3rd command center. It's going to get lifted, of course. A couple depots will go down. The tank has to move forward in order to guard this. There's no Ravagers. And you can see how scary... Even if he committed full Roach Ravager, I think he actually probably would have killed him. Just because the 2nd tank is so slow. Like, imagine if he just ran in and biled the tank there. He's still going to make Ravagers now, but the moment this tank fires from the high ground, he should back off. Shin should back off. There's no way he can break this now. He just wants to buy time, delay it, drone. He's adding Infestors. Oh my gosh, he's adding Infestors. This is so sick, dude. This is really well played. And you can get another depot snipe here. Very well done. He's just got to be careful because his Roaches and Ravagers are so wounded now. 4th base is coming up. Hives on the way. Ling speed. Clem stuck on mining just 2 bases right now. Does he have an armory? I don't think so. Which means his 1-1 is going to finish. He won't be able to start 2-2 straight away. Carapace is already leading on the upgrades. The only criticism I have of Shin is that he's only got 1 Infestor. But I think Carapace +2 is more important than anything else anyway. And he's got 225 gas coming in. Beautiful timing. Wow, Shin's really good, guys. All right, Armory started along with the 2nd factory. Clem, though, so paranoid in this game. Problem with Infestors, I guess, on this map is there is a lot of choke points. Tanks are very hard to deal with. I wonder if early Broods would make sense. Clem is like... It feels like Clem's kind of behind in this game. It feels like the rare situation where early Broods might be amazing. Because he's kind of just stuck turtling and, like, really should be non-stop building siege tanks. Scans go down. He sees the Hive. He sees the Ultra Cavern. And Clem's going to try to move out here. There's only 1 Infestor. 2nd one just now building. It's kind of a shame. I feel like he could have so many Fungals up by now. Microbial! He's going to go Microbial! Ah, oh, Shin's been doing this lately where he goes for Microbial. He just wants to do basically a big Ultra timing with Microbial Shroud. Oh, great Fungal, but the Biles are a little slow, so they don't actually land on anything. Only 2 on the siege tank. Shin's actual army supply is not that big right now. He's going to try to come forward, but I don't think he has the numbers to beat the Bio army. Oh, no. His army's looking very meager. And, oh, Clem just took a crazy amount of tank splash damage because he scanned and his units were on top of a creep tumor. So the friendly fire from the tank actually hit all of his own Marines and Marauders. Medivacs will heal that over time, though. Clem trying to shove, and it looks like Shin may be caught with just a few too low on the unit count. Been droning pretty hard, trying to take a fifth, taking tons of tech, and oh, decent fungal. It does feel like the biles are coming in maybe a little bit too late. Does get one siege tank. There's one more fungal, two more fungals available. Very hard to push through this choke point. You can also break these rocks. So if he tries to like move tanks through here, you collapse this rock tower and they will crush the siege tanks. So Clem's delaying him, but he's not really going to be able to kill him here. His 2-2s just started not too long ago, while +2 carapace is almost done. Ultras are now building as well. Love to see some Lings counter-attacking. Just a two Zergling run-by with a few Roaches. This is about as small as a run-by could possibly be. Alright, Roach is going to come in, pick off a few Marines as well. Not too bad. The Bio's going to shove. No, Shin! Oh, he loses one Infestor, but he's going to try and bust through. He's got to be careful. Clem could break the rocks on him as well. Clem does not break the rocks in time. Kindness Plating's not done. The Ultras get hammered. Bad fight for Shin. Oh, no, he just threw all of his Infestors into the meat grinder. Shin, bad fight right before Kindness was done. Headbutting into a terrible position. Oh, me, oh, my. Here we go, Ling's coming forward for another counter. The run-bys are excellent, man. There's not even a wall off on the natural. It never got rebuilt, but the Lings here are going to try and do what they can. Adrenal Glands never got made in this game either. He has higher priorities. Ultras, Vipers, these sorts of things to build. Chadhammer's going to siege up on the high ground again. 11 SCVs, though. Very nice damage. And fourth base only just going out. I mean, Shin maybe could have given up his fourth, but would have always been hard. And this map is so choky. It's really hard to fight on this map, which is why I would have liked him to have a few more Infestors and engage the army further out, because I think you can't let them take a position like this on Blackrock. He could flank this with Ling Ultra. These units, though, are going to be funneling through single file. If he pulls the trigger, these units need to already be out in the open, or they're just going to get stuck here, one behind the other. And he's going to go now, but he can't pull the other units yet. Okay, he's moving through the choke point. Here comes the Viper. Blinding Cloud could be big. It's a massive Blinding Cloud. Here we go! But Shin doesn't have any Ultras on the south side, which means these Ravagers and Lings are going to get popped. Biles are spreading across the Bio. Nice Biles. The Ravager's trying to survive on this right side. The Ultras clear through. He's lost all of his Infestors, but he's got two Vipers. The Ultras are starting to get focused down. Clem wants that red hit point Ultra. He's going to take it out. One. Can he get another one? The other Ultra's a bit too far behind. You know he wants to click it. He gets it. He gets all the Ultras. Shin chasing. Big mistake, I think. I think he just gave him some gifts. Yeah, you killed some more Bio, but sometimes Shin gets on the chase and he headbutts a little bit, and right now his army's trash. And again, it's a good Ling rally, but I don't know, man. Biles trying to cover the retreat there. Only loses one Ravager. Well done. He's got Ultras as well, though. Clem is just going to try and out-micro him. The Medivacs are out of juice. Another two Ravagers get caught. If you don't have Corruptors or Infestors, Clem's going to out-micro you all day, especially when you're on his side of the map. And you can see those Ultras are just melting, aren't they? There's 3 carapaces almost there. It's not there just yet. Shin still miles ahead on the economy. 82 workers. He's got himself some Infestors and Vipers out now. The Vipers have gathered back to max energy. A few Lings are going to run in this side. Chadhammer on the high ground could do just as much friendly fire as anything else. Oof. The Lings quickly do run away, though. Oh, Parasitic Bomb's not bad yet. Going for a Doom Drop over here is a little bit crazy, man. Little bit crazy. Few Bio units up here with the drops. Shin's doing a really good job of handling. Feels like Clem's on the ropes and could die at any moment, but I do think Shin is looking a little nervous on a map that's a bit more cramped than he's used to. These bases are like very, very much like choked in. There's like ramps and ledges and forests arcing around. It just makes it really awkward. And he's not building a Spire yet. And I think being maxed, 85 workers, like a Spire is what checkmates Clem in this game. Super hard. But if there's anything we've learned from the last few years of ZVT, is Zerg players do not like building Corruptors and Spires until it's past time. They almost never do it promptly. It's always a few minutes of chill in the late game and they go, oh, you know what? Maybe I should start a Spire. And it's one of those little areas where I understand you're busy microing 3 sides at once against drops. You got Infestor Viper. But I always feel it's more, like in a game like this where you're not in danger of immediately dying, it's actually more important than Baneling and Bane speed. There we go. Spire does go down. Nice move. Like I always build Spire and Baneling Nest at the same time because I think of them as kind of, okay, we're maxed. I need to beef up my army with Banelings and Corruptors to deal with drops and libs. The problem he's going to run into is if he ever doesn't sandwich the army from two sides, he's going to be like headbutting into choke points. Well, look at this. This is a good engage. Clem's way out of position. Dude, is Shin about to get up 3-0? I think Shin's about to get up 3-0, guys. Abducts the lib, blinding cards, the planetary. The Banelings blow up the building command center and that one as well. He's going to bile that Liberator, except he misses with 2 of the biles. Ooh, a little sloppy there. Unfortunate on the left side. Oh, Clem tries to counter him. Fungal comes forward, only gets a few of the units. He could fungal that Reddit point medevac. Probably worth killing a medevac, but good micro for Clem on the bio. Stutter stepping away. You could just pull back, and if he chases you, he'll walk into fungal. So Clem has to back off right now. Units lost tab. 2,500 in favor of Clem. What? Ooh, right now, Shin doesn't see the army, and his creep spread's been very low in these games. Remember, Shin's not really set up for a long game. He's only got 3 queens. It's all about the army here and now. Oh, Shin should give this base up. He should not fight here. He should not fight here. He loses his infestors on that left side. Both infestors go down. That's fine. He's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases. 6 bases once this one's up, which it is now. It just doesn't have drones on it. And Clem is on 3 bases. It's all about the army versus army fight. And for Shin, you just need to be getting out of the map and hunting for that big engagement. If you trade just once with Clem's army pretty well, it's pretty much lights out. But the infestors going down on that left side really reduce your ability to catch him. The corruptors are only now building. Like I said, if those corruptors were already out, moves like this, it's like you can't afford to lose these units. But imagine if corruptors came in. How bad that would be for Clem there. Catching those units could be game ending, but he loses both hatcheries on the left, does Shin. So Shin and Clem are both trapped at garbage tier economy. And that's way better for Clem right now because Clem is only on 65 workers. So Ragnarok has an extra 23 supply of workers that are giving him only a marginal income advantage. And that means, well, you're down 30 army supply. How are you going to find a good fight? Broodlords are a checkmate maneuver, by the way, guys. There's nothing that shoots up except 36 Marines. There are 10 siege tanks plus 2 about to kick in this game. Oh, that's cute. Oh, I like that. The Burrowed Banes. Watch him. Watch him, baby! Does blow up 2 of the Burrowed Banes. There's 2 more there, which might come into play later on. Shin needs to flank this army. He's too heavy on Banes. 34 Banelings, nearly worthless against Marauder Tank. Another base gets wrecked here. Corruptors come in along with Ling Bane Ultra on the counterattack. Takes out a medevac. The other one does escape. The Liberator is going to go down. The command center is going to start to take damage. But look at this. Shin's lost all of his new mining bases. He's now down to 74 workers as well. Yes, he kills the second factory. Yes, the command center is dying. But this is still a game where ghosts are eventually going to be dripping out against the Ultras. And even here, he could start sniping these Corruptors. Double snipes the same Corruptor. Corruptors aren't unzipping their fly. If they do, they should be able to kill it. But it takes 5 seconds to ramp the damage. And, oh my god, the Corruptors need to run. The Corruptors need to run. A bunch of Corruptors do go down. I think he's only got 4 left, which means 3 of them died, and 2 of those remaining ones are deep in the red. So he's going to build 4 more Corruptors right now. These Banelings, do they unburrow behind this? No. Looks like the answer is no. You really want to have Corruptors on both sides to catch these drops. Mass Zergling, pretty good against Marauder Tank. Broodlords would be god tier against this. A few Ghosts does not answer those. Oh, feels like right now Shin's economy is better. But we're comparing different tiers of garbage, you know? Right now we've got two ibises just poking around in the bottom of the bin, pulling out used Siggy butts and comparing them to each other. And Shin's the one, if he's given a minute to transfer workers and retake these bases, he could be in a much better spot. Like, Clem's basically just maxing on 50 workers, dropping mules, and hunting for the perfect engage. I don't know. I think if the Corruptors stay split, your army just stays half on the left, half on the right. I think this is, like, kind of impossible for you to not find good engagements as Shin. The problem for Shin is he's not split his army up completely. Like, the right side has no Corruptors. You need Corruptors here or the drops could be good, but the Corruptors could catch this. Marauder drop. Oh, he's going to hunt down the Marauder drop. Nice move. It's 10 supply. Will be cleaned up here. Does he abduct it? Might be worth. Obviously, the boost will run out eventually. Clem knows he's luring him out of position, so he's going to try and snipe a hatchery. There is the thinnest of margin here. This is still very close. Clem trying to push that left is crazy. Oh, Burrowed Zergling map hacks. He can see the armies moving around with the Burrowed Zerglings and the Infestor as well. It's kind of slick here, isn't it? Oh. No Neuroparasite. If he gets Neuroparasite, come in with Neural and steal a bunch of the siege tanks to initiate a push. Clem's stuck on 4 bases. Once he moves out to a 5th, he'll be in trouble. Viper's abducting a few siege tanks by the looks of it. They were not sieged, of course. And there comes the unburrowed fungal. But does he actually get on top of the Ghost? Attacking around a corner is the Zerg player. This is a messy engagement, guys. There's a lot of Banelings in here. Baneling Ultra moving into the open, trying to bust through. But that's a big tank line, and those Banes are getting slaughtered. The Ultras, the Corruptors, and the Vipers need to run away. I think he's overextending maybe. He's done good damage, but he's got to pull back right now. And he pulls back right now. Only Overseer's getting caught by the snipes. The Command Center goes down. Brilliant move for Shin. He gets the Command Center. He gets it. Gets the Command Center. Doesn't lose all of his Ultras. He's still got an Infestor on the map. Hopefully he burrows that. He's remaking Ultras. I'd love a few Infestors in the mix. And I think 8 Corruptors is probably fine for now. But also would love to see some more upgrades like Adrenal. He's still forgotten Adrenal in this game. Armor for the Corruptors and more attack upgrades would be great. This counter push, a little dicey for Clem. His army's not that big. And yet Shin knows he does not want to take a bad fight. He is cowering, waiting until the perfect moment. I do think for Shin, you want to come from 2 sides, though. I really feel like his army should just be way more fluid. If half of his army is working down, attacking from this angle, other half attacks from up here, maybe here and here, spread it a bit first. Good game, man. It's lights out. He's going to attack all from one side. The Ultras might derp out around the terrain. He's attacking around a corner! Another attack around a corner. Shin with an awkward angle. Parasitic Bomb. Oh, sorry. The Blinding Cloud is really good. The Corruptor's doing good damage as well. The Ultras do break through the front line. There's a tank on the high ground. We were asking for the tank on the high ground. We were saying because he's building Ravages, it's unlikely to happen in this game. Even though the Ultras get popped, the Corruptors do kill a lot of the air units, but that was not a good angle. That was probably the worst angle Shin could find. I did say it earlier in this series. I said Shin is really good, and he hits a point in the late game where he just finds terrible engagements. He gets overeager, he goes from urgent to panicky, and he just takes fights in really bad manners. To group his whole army and attack around the terrain there was the worst possible angle he could have found. I feel like there's a lot of situations where if he just F2'd from his rally point, his army might have engaged smoother onto that. He loses 2 hatcheries for it. He's now 9,000 in the trading. Clem is still completely broke, so Shin's Remax should win the game, but I really have to question that engagement, man. It felt so sloppy. There's still a tank in the middle over here as well, guys. I love that Clem's actually using those ledges in this desperate low economy game. That's awesome. He's going to put another one here as well. The Overlord sees it. It'd be funny if he neural parasited it. He has no way of dealing with that tank, guys. Guys, Shin has no way of dealing with it. He's going to attack past it and just ignore the tank. The tank's killing Infestors on the north side, or at least they're taking damage. They're not quite dying just yet. Here come the Infestors. Can they get in range for the big fungal? The pull away is really nicely done here by Clem. Shin not chasing with elegance, but oh, who needs elegance when you've got Omega Fungals? He chases him across half the map, double Fungals, and the entire army says goodnight. Shin knows he has the numbers, smashes through, and the siege tanks on the high ground ledges aren't going to save you there. Shin, what an excellent game, guys. I feel like he scared the heck out of me. He scouted what was a bit of a greedy build. Clem knew he scouted it. Clem scouts a mass of roaches coming out. Panics, builds bunkers, build tanks, still loses his whole wall off, denied from his third for a while, and Shin just goes up that tech tree. Infestors, Ultras. There was a few scary moments. I think definitely forgetting Adrenal all game hurt him a bit. There was that moment with his push outside his base, where I think maybe this game snowballs way quicker in Shin's favor if he doesn't let this army get here. And that comes down to, of course, if he was willing to slow his hive down a little bit, or maybe make not quite as many Ravages. Like 7 Ravages is a lot, right? If he only made like 4 or 5 Ravages, he could have still gone the fast hive, but had like 3 Infestors. And I think it was a big mistake for him to not have map vision. The drops had kind of distracted him up to this point, so he doesn't see this push moving out until it's already at the front of his base. And by the time his Infestors, his Roaches and Ravagers get over here to defend, well, he's just been droning. His army's not as big and strong as it could be, but it's also the Terrans already sieged on the edge of creep. Whereas if you're already forcing a siege here, you can buy a lot of time moving in, threatening Fungals, dancing in and out. And he does land a great Fungal there. You can see he doesn't have the firepower to do anything with it. The tanks are already sieged. He's already taking big shots. So even though he lands some nice Fungals, it's just a little bit too late. Unfortunately, I don't think we saw a single Microbial in this game. You guys let me know if I'm wrong on that. Maybe I missed one. There was a lot going on. But overall, the fact that I thought this position was just going to totally ruin him, and he just kept doing run-bys, found a way to get up into Ultras, found the engagements he needed. Shin is up 3-0 on Clem. This is legendary. All right, guys. Shin is 1 game away from just absolutely steamrolling Clem, and that is crazy. Clem in the top left now. Old Sun Temple. Giant 4-player map. Shin in the right side. It looks like Shin's sending his Overlord towards Clem. So that's lucky for him. We'll see if Clem also scouts in the correct direction towards the opponent. I was a little critical of Shin's engagements in that last game. We've got to remember he's probably played barely any games on BlackRock. So when you've got Clem in your face, tank pushing, it's really easy to think your army's about to engage in a big wide open area, and then you go look at it and you realize your army's stuck attacking around a corner. It's not something that happens a lot otherwise, but if you are playing a map that you don't have as much experience on, it absolutely can. So we are going to see an overpool, guys. Goes down at about 37 seconds. Still drones pretty hard behind it, but it gives you the chance to get the Queen and the Zerglings out a little bit earlier. And I think he's just going to hope to run some Zerglings across the map and maybe catch it with Clem having the Reaper not at home. Maybe, you know, delay the SCV building the command center or something like that. You still get a hatchery up here at about 1 minute and 10 seconds, which is really nice. 1 minute 11 to be exact. Not bad at all. So I think Shin would be much happier if this was cross-map, guys, because he can't really expand to his fourth towards Clem. So he's going to have to take third here, which means Clem can always push towards his natural. And if Clem ever cuts off your rally point, you're screwed. So Clem might have some really nice tank spots here, and like branching units forward. Your fourth is down here, so you need to mine a ton of minerals open to get there. There is a worker-only path on the right side, which workers can move up and down, but nothing else can. So you either break the rocks or mine that. Fourth is there, and then your fifth is down here. I mean, it's hard for Clem to push these bases, but Clem loves multitasking. He loves multi-dropping. It's a map where you would love to have mutas up to defend those bases, but defending the frontal push towards your natural, you probably want Roach Ravager for. Puts Shin in a tough situation. Aggression might be the simplest solution to playing with this map spawn. Wait, why is there a random Cyrillic advertisement on the map? I think some of those are like just built in the editor, right? This one says El Corte Zerg. That's definitely not Cyrillic. This one's in French. Reaper comes in, gets a Zergling. Nicely done. But the 4-lings have dodged. And this is exactly what he was setting up for. Shin says, hello, did you want to build a command center, buddy? Oh, the Marine lets the Zerglings in as well. Got to pull the SCVs. Clem with some good micro, though. These lings going to rotate around and try and create as much distraction as possible. This SCV goes back. Those lings will deal with it. The 2 lings in the main do get caught going after the Marine. That SCV will escape. Clem's micro so smooth. So smooth. Dude. Well played. Still a good distraction. I think it's worth it for Shin. Goes for ling speed next. Puts 2 workers back on gas. Keeps on droning. Adding creep as well. So yeah, we've got like a French credit union as well. Au credit épicili, voyeuse la vie en rouge. Hey, someone misspelt Rogue's name again, guys. That's probably the most common. There's 2 common misspellings in StarCraft of players' names. There's Serial for Serral, and there's Rouge for Rogue. Oh, is this the Cyrillic one? Yeah, I don't know what that says. I like to think that just says hero. It's just a sign saying heroes. That says beta. Beta cuck. You know hero is or something. Is this like a guy made this map who hates hero or something? What does that say, guys? Someone who reads that, let me know. 5 Zerglings have gone down for 1 SCV so far in this game. Oh, beta bank? Ah. What can I say? I saw beta and I was like, I know what word goes after that on the internet. Usually it's cuck, but beta bank better than nothing. Oh, that's hilarious. So it's like the Caprulu sector's like crappiest bank. They're like, when literally no one else will give you a loan, come to the beta bank. It's technically better than nothing. That's hilarious. Bunch of betas. Third command center up here in the main base. It's a 2-on-1 again. Going back to what did not work for him at the start of the series, but has worked so well for him against Serral in the past. Now this looks like Mutiling Bane for Shin, in that he goes, but he cancels the Bane Nest, builds a Roach Horn. Okay. Queen can block the round. Nice Queen positioning. Only 3 drones going down is perfectly fine. Yeah, it's a good cleanup. Bit of mining time, a little annoying. Now he cancels the Roach Horn and builds a Spire. Hydroden! What? He cancels the Roach Horn and builds an Evo. Okay, so he's gonna play Hydras. Oh, wow. Cool. Problem, he dies to 2-on-1 before the Hydras are out. I think. Shin's playing really tricky. I don't think he can get Groove Spines in time. Unupgraded Hydras aren't very good. He's only got 4 Queens. He needs to either pump Zerglings or get a little lucky here. This is going to hit pretty soon. I mean, it's a CC. It is a 3cc version. And Clem does take a while to move out. Doesn't hunt down the Overlord next to the pillar there. Carapace, Groove Spine, 6 Hydras on the way. Shin does not have a ton of map vision right now, so it's not until he's on creep that he'll see this. The Lings trying to attack the rocks from both sides. Drones trying to get to work on that 4th base. Okay, Shin's aware of what's happening. He's got a few Hydras popping, but 16 Marines with Stim is an impossibility for him to deal with right now. He kills like 2 Marines. The Hydras are dying as they pop! Oh, if he'd gone straight Hydras, I think he would have been fine, but that's a pretty tragic trade for him. Oh, if only the Queen got that hit off on the medevac, but he doesn't get it. And the drones are trying to fight. Shin! Oh my god! He sends the preschoolers into battle. Surprisingly, they killed a bunch of the Marines, but for 7 drones, I don't like that trade at all. There's I call it sending the preschoolers into battle whenever people pull their workers into a fight which they're clearly going to lose, because it's kind of the same level of like some crazy dictators in a war that he's losing, but he's just like, no, we still have many manpower resources to choose from. It is time to conscript the 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds. So they already have good motor skills. They can pull a trigger at this age. You know, like, you're just like, no, that's insanity. I mean, they killed a few Marines, which is cool, but 7 drones, painful. Infestation, 2nd Evo goes down. Now, to be fair, Shin's recovered nicely. And Clem is so worried about his shenanigans, he's actually building tanks with a bunker in a very defensive stance. It's not a big investment. I mean, you're going to build tanks anyway. 1 bunker is not the end of the world, but it does show that maybe he's a little more worried about Shin's aggression than he otherwise might be. Shin's really struggled with creep spread, guys, just throughout the whole series, because he's been playing this very low Queen style, focusing much more on army. That's kind of the secret to Shin's style of StarCraft at the moment, and his success, is less Queens, more units, more investment in things that can actually do stuff. And it's cool to see him be so successful. I think there's a lot of people who would say technically it's just not the best way to play. It's only working because he's the only one who really does it. No one else does. But I don't know. I think there's something to it, especially since Queens cost 175 minerals now. I think Shin's one of the few top pros who's constantly innovating, looking to study and understand every new balance patch, where a lot of other players, I think, they kind of do what they know. And not to criticize everybody, but I think a lot of us fall into this trap where we kind of go, well, my thing doesn't work. This is bad for me, right? And rather than innovating, I'm going to complain about it a little bit and throw my hands up in the air, but it feels like Shin's always trying new things. He's going to go Lurker, Microbial Shroud. Hydraling, Lurker, Microbial Shroud. Like, what even is this? No one's playing like this. Is it good? I mean, we're not really going to find out this game because he's already quite far behind from the early trading. That slowed him down droning. Remember, he was playing a very low economy game. So to take a bunch of damage like that as well, not good. And he misses a fungal. Painful. Oh, yeah, not a good trade for Shin. He's just trying to buy time with these Zerglings. Running around a little bit, getting a bit of scouting, seeing what's going on. Of course, we can see there's a 4th command center that's going to float out here in the near future. Hive's now finished. Lurker Den's there. We don't see Lurker Microbial literally ever. It's kind of funny that there's something to be said for if your opponent's not played against something, they very well could massively screw up the engagements. Clem holds the watchtower in the center. Even Clem himself said he's not really sure why he loses to Rogue. When he gets to late game, he feels like the fights don't make sense, and just the more changelings and overseers there are on the screen, the worse the fights go, even though they shouldn't impact the battle at all. And he doesn't really understand why. Like, so that if you Rogue just fills the screen with like overseers, and essentially Clem gets confused and doesn't fight as well as normal. So maybe Lurker Microbial gets a similar, like, he's like, oh, what do I do against this? Lurker Infested. Oh, man, a fungal on these Marines would be legendary. He doesn't have Lurker range yet. He needs that 10 seconds till he gets that upgrade, guys. Dude, the way Clem is moving in like this, so a few big fungals could ruin him. But, oh, it's go time. You gotta go, Shin. Shin, I think, has to go, man. The tanks are sieging in range of the lurkers. Is he just gonna unburrow and go? Oh my god, this is gonna get so weird. It's in a big choke point. Here we go. Microbial shrouds go down. The lurkers sieging on the front. The front line of tanks gets absolutely busted. The fungal is sick. Holy moly. But he does accidentally move command back a little bit there. He's still got a few lurkers in the back. All the tanks go down. Tons of the bio falls. That was an absolute bloodbath on both sides. But it looks like Clem traded just well enough. He's still up 3,000 in the units lost trading. And what I think if he came from two sides, maybe. The problem with coming from two sides is obviously you can't really microbial both sides at once. Clem kind of forced him into a sloppy situation where if the infestors were split on two sides with lurkers coming from two angles where you got nowhere to run, that's where I think that maybe becomes like a god tier game-ending engage. Problem, he lost all of his infestors. He doesn't have a Viper. And he lost 3 lurkers, 17 hydras. Then again, his 4th is up in mining. His 5th is only now building. You tell Shin's just stuck on an even economy with Terran. Doesn't feel good. Adaptive Talons is not being made, guys. He needs to make that upgrade. It's not as high priority as it used to be, but it's still very important. The lurkers are getting busted on the front. There's more lurkers behind that. Clem going in right now because the lings on the left are distracting him. That bio way overextended on this side. Nice moves here for Shin. 8 SCVs on the bottom. Denying a bunch of buildings on the north as well. He's going to back off for now. Beautiful play here by Shin. Now, I'd like to see Shin pivot into an easy army, an A-move army. Hard to do though, right? How do you get into Ling Bane from here? You haven't started melee upgrades. You need Ling Bane Viper, Ling Bane Hydra Viper, or Ling Bane Ultra, kind of like the last game. He can't really go sideways into that unless he starts melee right now. He does go Adaptive Talons. I think it's really important he start melee because he's mixing Lings in, and if he doesn't catch up on those upgrades, he's screwed. Clem is behind kind of on the 3-3. +3 range is going to come, and Shin's fully committed. He's like, no, we're playing Ling Hydra Lurker. The Lings are just for tanking. It's all about the Hydra Lurker and the microbials. Which could work. Oh, here we go. Big lurker push. Tanks are exposed on the front, man. Microbials are going to go down. Some of the tanks do get out of the most dangerous situation. And I think now you pull north, right? Now that the tanks are sieged, you unsiege and move north with these lurkers. Really well done there by Mr. Shin. But Clem does avoid the scariest part of the fight. The command center is going to go down. He throws a fungal. Command center goes down. There's a lurker behind this base. Clem with a double drop in the bottom side does kill the 5th base, though, of Shin. Shin needs to go and defend that base, but he is denying all of Clem's mining right now. And he's going to come down here with Hydras. Does he have lunge yet? He does not have lunge for the Hydras, which is, I think, a little bit of a mistake. Yes, he does. He does have the upgrade. Never mind, I'm blind. Lurker back there does get cleaned up by the siege tank. He's killing this factory as well. Very nicely done, dude. Shin, the problem is, where does he expand? He's having to expand towards the Terran. Like I was saying, this is why you want muters or you want corruptors. He catches both drops! Both drops in the bottom go down! Dude! Shin! He's got Clem on the ropes! Clem is dying to Shin's extreme build variety right now. I love it. Uh-oh. The infestors, though. The lurkers get busted, which means the infestors are going down. He didn't throw the fungals in time. He's lost all but one infestor. That's a ton of gas going down. The Hydras. Oh, no! Misclick here for Shin! Accidentally rallies through the middle. A fungal on this wins the game. Clem right now is doing the Clem thing where he just shoves his army and he hopes he wins. If there was any infestor fungals to hit this right now, the Hydraling jumps on top. You lose because the ghost can't snipe. If there was 2 fungals, but there is no fungals. 3 infestors about to pop. They're not ready just yet. Lurker's trying to morph. He's going to catch the morphing. And Ragnarok, Shin's supply is too low. He can't defend the counter. You're kidding me! The massive lings go in on this base, they're denying the income. An infestor fungal lands, but there's no firepower to back it up. All the morphing lurkers are being killed. And Clem is going to clutch victory from the jaws of defeat. Oh no! Shin! Ah, that first drop did really good damage, but then he got some really nice fights. And you could just see Clem barely pushing with enough. If those infestors got out of there, I think, and those lings come in and surround that army, I think he's in a pretty good spot. But what a crazy game. I got to go back and watch this first big fight in the choke point. Because talk about a sort of mental overload where it's so hard to figure out what you're supposed to do. I do think in hindsight, yeah, if half of this army with like 1 infestor had gone around here and came from this angle, you move it all here in a big blob, and then you come from there and you come from here, and he's kind of got nowhere to run. Because then you can kind of burrow your lurkers like right up on this siege tank and right up here like he did. And where's he going to retreat to, right? Because when you're attacking from one side, Clem's so good at pulling back. You can see Microbius went down. Clem reacts a second late. All these tanks get obliterated. You can see the Bio can kind of stay away from the worst of the Lurkers. And even though he lands a few good fungals, they do heavily overlap. The Lurkers are still burrowing during it. And by the time the Lurker volley gets out, that ball of Marines escapes. If all those guys got hit by like 1 or 2 Lurker shots, lights out. Absolute lights out. You gotta keep your Hydras spread. You gotta be really careful with your Hydras. They're very fragile. What a sick game though. Cool style. And it's such a shocking style. No one does this. Dude, Shin's an absolute friggin' fiend. Absolute legend. Remember, he was playing with an awkward 4th off of a low economy, not that much creep spread all game long. And he was so close to getting Clem out here. GG's. Alright guys, Shin, so close. But getting that final game against Clem, never as easy as it looks, is it? I think that last map, like I said, with the spawns they had, it's really tough to fight correctly. But this is another interesting map where Rorschach, he's going to be in the left, Clem in the right, and of course you can kind of take this gold base, but it's very exposed. Normally you'll expand as the Zerg up to this top left corner, 4 bases, take a 5th here. There is a gold base in the very top as well. You could take that as a 5th or 6th base. Clem, normally as a Terran, you expand to your 3rd here, and you take your 4th here, 5th down here, or something like that. You kind of expand towards. So Terran usually expands towards the Zerg and pushes this way, while Zerg expands north away from the Terran. So once again, I believe an overpool build. Looks like it. Watch these early Zerglings, man. Six Zerglings coming out right now. Do we have a Queen? Queen starts up. So 6 Zerglings into a Queen. Clem is going to scout, though. He sends the SCV from the barracks, rallies his 19th worker down, builds a Reaper and an Orbital on 19 supply, mines 5 minerals, gets there. He actually stops at mining 5 minerals because he realized he was about to hit 400. It's more important to start the command center, obviously, than anything else. Stops just a fraction of a second before finishing the 5 mineral mine. Here we go. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Okay, the Lings quickly divert when he sees the SCV. And with this Overlord, he's going to want to wait to see that Reaper pop out, jump down this ledge.
Queen's ready.
The Reaper doesn't, though. He goes in the other direction. That's fine. Oh, now he sees it. And that's because the SCV comes back after seeing that it is a pool first build. So the Lings are just going to hide. And he says, well, your Reaper can't harass me. If it does go across the map, we'll run in and kill this SCV on this command center. Drones be building. All right, it's looking like we're about to see, is there a second barracks? It should go down about now. No, it looks like we're going to go back to Hellion Banshee, I think. He hasn't really played any Banshees today. Wonder why. Do you guys think Clem's afraid of like a Queen push from Shin? Maybe he feels like against the threat of 2-base Muta is too great, especially after game 2. Because remember, even when he went Starport, he went Viking on Blackrock. He didn't actually build a Banshee. Can keep you safe against some of those non-Queen Ravager pushes, though. There is like Nidus or even Queen drop can work as well. Queen Zergling drop on very low economy. Both all-ins that Clem's died to in the past. Alright, Reaper's going to try and pull back. Lings are trying to come in from behind, but Ling Speed's not ready yet, so they will run away. Unless Clem's just not... Dude, what is with Clem's Reapers today? Oh, he's just constantly losing Reapers, and now 12 Zerglings queue up. I don't know if he was planning to do that already, or it's reactive to the Reaper going down, but it's a lot of Zerglings. One more Queen building as well. First Hellion already takes 2 hits from those Queens. And he did actually build a second barracks, by the way. Sorry, guys. Should have called that out. It is actually a 2-on-1. Just thought that second barracks was a bit later than I expected. Never mind. Wow, it's been epic games, dude. I've cast the previous 2 playoffs games into this one straight. I didn't realize I was casting 3 of the most epic series I've cast in a while. Such close matches and so many builds. This has been the first one where it's even though Shin's been dominating him, they've been pretty close games. That last game, a very clutch comeback for Clem. Looked like he was so close to dying. Ooh, okay, Hellions picking off the Creep Tumor and a few drones. He starts to let in vision. Oh! Massive surround! He just killed every Marine! He just killed every Marine! Holy cold! Sorry, guys! Like I said, I've been casting and observing for a long time. The SCVs are trying to fight. Sick SCV micro, but that's a lot of Zerglings. He loses 12, 13. 13 SCVs and every Marine. He's doing a 2-1-1. Now his medevacs pop out. What are you going to do? Drop 5 Marines? Shin pointing and laughing at him. Dude, he's like, oh, you going to drop 5 Marines? You going to drop 5 Marines, you dum-dum? Oh, dude, it takes the teeth away from the build. He can start a 4th, Carapace on the way. He does have a Roach Horn. Interestingly, he's building Zerglings instead of Roaches, telling me I think Shin wants to do another run by, knowing that Clem's answer to taking damage is always to counterattack. Notice Clem stims across the map, heals at the Healing Shrine to cross the map faster. He knows he's got to go do some counter damage. He's going to run the Hellions in there as well at the same time in the top base. So the Lings move to respond. The Hellions click in. Like clockwork, playing the Zerg like a fiddle. He needs to do crazy damage to get back in this. The Marines are going to pick up and drop. Hellions are going to find a few of these drones. 3 have already gone down. Not too bad, but for 2 Hellions, is that really enough? Not necessarily. He redrops there. The Queen's just shot down a medevac. Luckily for Clem, it was not the medevac with units inside, and he necessarily denies the 4th base. I'm telling you guys, Clem heaved a sigh of relief. If he didn't cancel that 4th, he's dead. Because if Zerg can go 80 drones right now when your 3rd's just flying out, you're just so screwed. But as it is, Nile Zerg stuck on 66. You can kind of slow down a little bit, rebuild, pump the workers. 1-1 upgrades are on the way, though they are, once again, behind Carapace significantly. And he's got to find the room after these 4th and 5th barracks for 2nd factory. He's going to be playing Widow Mines, interestingly. Oh, gold base. Shin's trying to get away with a greedy one up there. Seven roaches building. 64 drones to 54. Clem will catch up over the next minute or two while Shin focuses on army. Question is, will Shin's army explosion just be too powerful? Because Widow Mines are not what you want against roaches. He sees the roaches now. That factory needs to swap. He immediately swaps the factory and the barracks. He's already made stim and shield, so more marine production is fine. He doesn't need the marauders. You might think, oh, don't you need marauders versus tanks, versus roaches? No, not as important as tanks. That was such a crisp swap over. Immediately cuts the mine production out. That is huge. That's really big. That shows Clem's level, respecting the roaches. Fourth base not really getting droned up. It looks like Shin's going to go for a big all-in into a guy who's not been building tanks. This should be game ending. He's also got 2 overseers that will have energy for contaminate. So if they can get in there just before the 2nd tank pops out and just chain contaminate it, that could be game ending. Roach takes a Widow Mine shot. He's going to immediately morph it into a cocoon. If you Biles do come down, you got to be careful, man. You got to be really careful with this Marines. The Carapace is done. 1-1 is not done for the Marines just yet. But it's not that much Roach Ravager just now. Has Shin left some of his units at home? It feels like this is only part of his army. The Roach Ravager getting overrun by the Bio. It's mostly Overlords at home. He's got a gold base up, but Clem runs forward with the 1-1 now kicked in. Overwhelms the Ravagers. Shin went a little bit too early. He was not expecting such a mass of Marines. He's got to get out of here. Shin needs to stop fighting and just run. Run, run, run. Oh, devastating. That was a great hold for Clem. It felt like the unit count just wasn't quite there. He was transferring drones to the gold in the middle of it, but the gold hadn't actually paid off yet in any way. Now Clem scans and he's like, oh, you're all in on 3 base. Get wrecked. Little does he know, Shin still has the bonus of the gold minerals, which is nice. With mules, you can see Terran income's pretty similar. And most importantly, the gas for those Ravagers does not recover easily. But look at this, guys. He goes in with his Overseers, contaminates the 3rd siege tank is what gets blocked. If he could double back in with that Overseer, that'd be good. Clem does not want that to happen. Shin, run away. He's going to run north. Zigzag, 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 zigzag. Can he get to the factory? Yes, he can. He's going to get another contaminate on the factory. What a brilliant maneuver. So that's going to slow down the tanks. You know it's just going to be another wave of all in here. He's transferred workers, and you might think, is that real? But he scanned. The main has transferred workers there. And this gold base, is going to give him one more wave of big, powerful all-in. Clem is going to move out to attack him. He's been tricked by the droning on the 4th. Clem does not realize that Shin is all in. Shin's carapace not quite done, though. Shin's like, please wait 20 seconds before we fight. I think Shin's just going to force a thing. Oh my god, he's out in the open. He says, the tanks aren't siege. We might as well jump on top, spread some biles across. Not a bad move at all, man. Not a bad move at all here for Shin. Clem commits into the middle of the map completely unnecessarily against what is a massive Roach Ravager that wants to fight. Carapace still 7 seconds away. Clem sets up with the tanks now. He says, come and fight me, bro. Come and fight me. Clem is the guy who fixes bayonets and charges towards the Zerg. He is an absolute mad lad. He plays StarCraft as if it's Warhammer 40k, where for some reason, even the most advanced futuristic soldiers always prioritize melee combat. They always run towards the Xenos because they want to get rid of all the dirty non-humans and kick them off this planet. Biles are going to land on the tanks. The Ravagers take out one of them, but the Ravager count's falling. The Roaches just don't seem to have the damage to take out these Biles. There's so many medevacs. Every Marine and Marauder has a personal healing medevac. They're just not dying. The Roach count dropping drastically, and the last 3 Marauders and 5 Marines hold the line. What in the world? Shin has got to be in disbelief. That first attack, he just botched too much. I got to go look at what happened leading into that attack, but I feel like it was just not the right attack. He's just a bit too early or something like that. He's trying to get Clem out of here. He's building leads for himself in this game, but Shin realizing that Clem is one of the hardest players to beat. You can get advantages on Clem, but good luck turning that into a victory. One tank does go down. There's a double lib coming in from the back. That's going to be really hard. His multitasking will get tested against that. Widowmine does take out most of these lings. The 4th base is out now. Clem finally landing a 4th. Shin, I think he's going to have to think about transitioning here. Surely he's got to build a spore. That Queen's going to take 6 minutes to kill 2 libs, man. The Queen comes over as well. The Queen's trying to avoid the lib zone, but the libs are going to be forced back by that one Queen. 3 drones only. Could have been much worse for Shin. Shin could totally go infestors and stuff. It's just, I think every second that goes by, he feels like, oh, it was already a bit too late. Now it's more too late. It's going to be even more too late. Like every second he doesn't transition, he feels like it's a worse choice to transition now. So he's kind of like, you know what they say, guys, if you find yourself in a hole, quit digging. Right now, Shin, it says, I'm going to dig my way through to the other side. Let's go. Bio taking a lot of damage here, man. The biles on the libs are very nice. Double lib gets sniped. It looks like a good angle. It looks like a really good angle. A few lings in the mineral line as well doing some damage. The Ravager line is nice, but there's not much meat in front of these Ravagers. If these Ravagers get busted by the Marines, you are really screwed. There's almost no meat here. I think he has to pull back and wait for more Roach Ravager. Shin's got to be really careful. If he loses his Ravagers again, he's out of this game. He can't be losing these Ravagers. And like I said, if you lose the Ravagers, you're done. Look at his supply. Just plummet. Remember, each Ravager is 3 supply. Each Roach is 2 supply. You are meant to have a monstrous economic lead in these games to make this strategy work. He has to tap out. And he does. GG out of this game. Holy moly, let's go take a look at that first big push he did, guys. Because, yeah, his 4th got cancelled, which is why Clem was like, and Clem was really quick to swap to tank production, which was really big as well. But the contaminates were really clever. One of the problems is, so like, he's transferring the drones as he's attacking, and it's just not that big an attack. He's like not that far ahead in supply, first of all. So even though like he did so much damage early, one has to wonder why he's not further ahead. And I think honestly, he just needed to wait for another round of units and probably shouldn't have transferred to the gold yet. Transferring to the gold, it's going to make your push stronger later. But this is effectively an all-in. I think poking here is good. I think poking is good, looking for biles, but this is just not that big of a chunk of army. There's a lot of Roaches and Lings and Ravagers in production. And it says he has 23 Roaches. I don't know where they all are. I guess he's got like so many just rallying across the map, doesn't he? Yeah, they're all just popping out of the eggs. Like, I feel like half of his Roaches are just popping out on the map. He's got like 14 Roaches, 6 Ravagers, and the Zerglings are like dead instantly. It's just not that big an army. Not the best push here. And this first push, going so poorly, made the next step so much harder. His real power spike was actually with Carapace, I think. Yeah, really decisive from Clem to push forward there. And he caught Clem with almost no tanks. That's tough. That's tough, man. He just pushed a bit too hard, too early. If he just went forward, baited the SCV pull, and then immediately ran away, I think this is fine. I think basically you push in, and the moment he stims at you or the SCVs pull, you just run, pull back, and then you're okay with doing the gold transfer. So I think what I'd do everything exactly the same Shin does, except basically here you commit in. The Lings I think are nearly worthless in this push, by the way. Lings are there, they're good for like spreading against tank shots, and that's about it. I would have tried to wrap my Lings around from the right and maybe try to run them in over there, or like, you know, I don't know, just focus more on Roach Ravager, but I guess his gas was a bit limited. Hard to say. But yeah, the moment he pulls his SCVs and his Marines stim at you, like here, just run. You can see he pulls back a little. If he keeps pulling back and shooting and biling and dropping, and you drop very defensive biles. If he dropped like a bile here, and then just keeps pulling back, and you just keep going in and out, I think then you're going to hit a really powerful actual committed attack in maybe a minute, and you're going to keep him over-stimming. His medevacs are going to be out of juice. Maybe you find a siege tank with biles when he's not watching. You can get in range, drop the biles, get out, that sort of thing. But this was a really bad fight for Shin, so I think Shin lost track of where his numbers were, and Clem made a really clutch hold, survives in the series. All right, guys, going into X-Arch, and guess what? It's a cross map. Ragnarok, Shin in the bottom right, Clem in the top left, and this should favor the Zerg in that it's going to take a while for any Terran army to cross this map, and especially through this vast open middle area. Keep in mind, this map has been massively iterated on since its this version, where there's actually a lot more blockers in the middle, and there's like speed zones alternating with lots of slow zones, mostly slow zones. So there's like inhibitor zones and bits of terrain and things blocking things off. So this middle area is, in the current version, way less Zerg friendly, but in this version, yeah, you got a watchtower, but good luck holding into that open area against the masses of Zerg that could come at you. There's a few little things blocking Zerg movement, but definitely feels like a map where Clem's going to want to be avoiding the middle, dropping around the flanks, probably playing a very mobile biomine style. And for Shin, I mean, surely you got to play Mutalisks, right? I think. I'm not sure. He's going to play pool first. Yet again, he's been loving his overpool opening, hasn't he? 14 spawning pool after Overlord. It's not a bad build at all. It gets you a few Lings out. You still get your super early Queen to just start injecting. You can make a bunch of Zerglings, but it looks like he's just going to make 2 this game, I think. You can see 175 for the Queen. So you'll start the Queen and then the gas. And only then is he going to make 2 Zerglings. Wow, interesting. Is he not going to make 2 Zerglings? Oh my gosh, he's not. He's just going to make an Overlord and then just go back to droning. All right, why not? Economic build. Off of it's a very fast spawning pool, but purely to get the Queen going with creep, injecting, all the good stuff. Command Center goes down. It's a blind 1-rax expand for Clem. Clem! That's a bit risky. He's playing 2-1-1. Second barracks before third command center. Oh, he's not blind. Sorry, he did go along the worker-only path to scout the top right. So that his Reaper will now go bottom left. And you can see there's this worker-only path on the side of the map, guys. Which I guess there's little rocks going through there. Is this used to transport stuff that's been getting mined or what? Feels like you're on like a rampart. Is this the edge of a fortress? Are you on like the battlements of a friggin' fortress here? I don't even know. This is crazy. So Clem scouts 1 main to exclude the other 2. Reaper goes to 1. And now finally, with his heart sinking, going, oh gosh. It's going to be a big game, isn't it? Big map, big game here on X-Arch. Ah, drone goes down. Dude, why is he never building the spore? He could have built a spore there, but Shin feels like he's been very reticent to commit to the spore trick. Now, what I'm wondering about is how quickly you tech up. It looks like he's doing the same open. I think it's got to be like game 2, right? The 2-base muter. Pull the drone away and you should be fine. Good micro there by Shin. Queens push the Reaper back. Back at home, 3 Marines building at a time. You got to go stim before starport with the 2-1-1, guys. There we go. Does go stim. Nice build order. He's fully saturated on the main, so you can see he's rallied SCVs to the natural. Usually about 322, 325. Somewhere around that is when you start the starport. Right on 320. Clem is very good with his build. Reactor with the next 50 gas as well, which will go down in a second. Yep. 328 on the reactor. They take the same time to build, I'm pretty sure. 36 seconds for both, but starport has a bit of moving to do. Has to lift off and float over. No, I don't think there's a way to jump in the main, right, guys? Like, I don't think there's any ledge for Reapers to really abuse at all on this map. I don't think there's no Reaper ledges at all. You can only get in through that natural entrance, and there's worker-only paths on the sides. Wow. Third hatchery goes up on the right side here for Shin. He's got a very quick lair and second gas. Thing is, this 2-on-1's going to hit so early, and he has no idea what's happening because he's not made an overseer. Guys, when you play 2-base, you got to make an overseer. His lair, he needs to make an overseer as soon as that finishes, because this is going to hit so fast, this blind 2-on-1. Oh my lord. Spire goes down. Overseer does more, so he's checking what's happening. And you got to realize, I haven't seen Hellions yet. Why have I not seen Hellions? And make a lot of Zerglings to make sure you're safe. He's already on 44 drone 4 gas. I think Shin's in a great spot, honestly. If he doesn't drone too hard, he realizes what's up, has time to build a few more Zerglings and Overlords before the fight happens. And look at that, he sees the Marines, and he should immediately know, oh wow. Okay, you've already got a whole bunch of Marines, what the hell is this? 4 more drones popping. He's not building Overlords. He builds 1, he needs to build like 3 right now. He needs to build 3 Overlords right now, or he's not going to be able to build anything else because he's going to lose an Overlord. He's not building any all over. Oh my gosh. No, don't chuck a dark, Shin. Don't chuck a dark. You're about to be supply blocked, bro. Bro, he's not building Overlords. He's got 450 minerals. He starts 4 more Overlords, but they're going to take 18 seconds to build. They're not ready just yet. 14 Zerglings and 4 Queens is going to struggle with this. He does damage a medevac, but he doesn't actually kill any Marines or medevacs. He just damages them. 2 Marines, 1 Marine just died. Only 1 Marine. Oh no! Oh no! That's it. 2 Marines have gone down in this game, guys. The Marines up there gonna take out the Overlord. Sorry, I was trying to do something fancy, showing the bar with the fight above the bar. That's some of the ugliest observing I've ever done. I'll stop doing that. Mutas are not able to build. He's got to build more Lings. Ragnarok, Shin, he had the perfect map spawn, the perfect setup. He had a good scout. He just didn't realize he was supply blocked. That's so tragic. Clem right now calling in all of his favors with the gods of StarCraft. Gets a Zerg player cross map, which well, is not a favor, but the fact that the Zerg is caught completely off guard, I mean, it's a good build choice because it's so rare for people to hit an old school 2-on-1 anymore. So Zergs aren't really thinking about it. But damn, that is crazy damage. Kills the third, trades massively. 400 resources for 2,200. 5.5 to 1. Oh my lord, 5.5 to 1 trading ratio. That is insane. Mutas are on the way out now. The third command turn is just now started. Is there a chance to get back in this game? Always, on a cross map especially. Cross map is so hard for Terran to carry the momentum and finish people off. This is insane. Two tank push. It's an early push. It's going to find the mutas coming across the map. Reddit point medevac does go down. Good choice to snipe that for Shin. Ooh, the Divine Beast is watching over this fight, you guys. This map does have a very angelic vibe to it, I guess. Baneling speed's not ready. Banes are rolling in. They hit a few of the Marines, shockingly. I don't even know how Shin managed to hit any of the Marines there without Bane speed against Clem with Stim Marines, but deep on creep, I guess, does help out a little bit. The tanks are going to blast these Banes. Wow, he gets another Baneling on top. What the hell? Clem panicking right now. Actually going to have his push held off momentarily. He does save some of the units, and of course, Shin barely has a third base up just for production, not even mining on it. This is an excellent way to just pressure right now, knowing he's got Shin dead to rights after that first push, trading as well as it did. There was 30 Zerglings in that first push. I think Shin's okay. 14 Zerglings just was not enough, and being so supply blocked always nasty. Baneling's trying to connect with the Marines, not quite able to, and that's going to be GG. Shin has to tap out. An unfortunate, unforced error there from the Zerg. Otherwise, the perfect build order for the matchup. And as is so often the case, we see Zergs play these slightly greedy but very effective 2-base muta builds on these big maps, cross maps, great for mutas. But so often they're just not as practiced with these build orders, and they make these little slip-ups. This is not a Shin problem. I've seen a lot of Zergs have the same issue where it's the best spawn for mutas. You're going to smash it, and they die to a timing attack almost every time. All right, guys, Clem in the top right. He has literally just done the best. You guys remember the best Batman movie? The one where he climbs out of the well after breaking his back, and then like the random doctor's like, I'm gonna Iron Man heal you. look, now your back's good. Climb out of the well. That's essentially what Clem's doing right now. From Clem's point of view, he's the superhero who's reviving himself and coming back to save the city. Of course, from Shin's point of view, he is watching the scene where, in the ring, the girl, Samara, climbs out of the well. In, I think it was the second Ring film, where her, like, legs are, like, twisting in a way which is very inhuman and, like, going over her head, kind of like a spider as she climbs out of the well. Yeah, he's looking at Clem like some sort of hell beast that is absolutely frightening. He's going, how the hell did you win 3 games in a row? I had you in such a bad position. Real bummer. He was not ready for that push. I don't think even when he saw the Marines, he realized. I think he thought that was a 3 command center because he didn't pull the Overlord back. And it felt like he didn't realize those Marines were already picking up and coming across the map until a little bit too late. He just had a few Overlords building, gets 10, 20 more Zerglings out during the fight. It's an entirely different story. All those Marines were so damaged. Barrack Scouts on Defender's Lab and an SCV Scout for Clem. It's like a more typical Hatch Gas pool build this time for Shin. Now, chat saying the best one was the one where you could see George Clooney's nipples in his Batman suit. Actually, which one was it? Which one was the one with like Danny DeVito and Arnie in it and stuff? Because that one was hilarious. That's kind of like low-key my favorite Batman movie because it's just so ridiculous. But I remember just watching that as a kid and you're like, I guess this is normal. But like you look back on it, you're like, what is this film? What did they think they were doing? Oh, it's so bizarre. It was Batman Returns. That was it. Yeah, it's so funny, man. Oh my god. Arnie with some terrible, like, what is he, Iceman or something? He like freezes stuff. Danny DeVito's the Penguin. It was so funny. All right, Reaper rotating around. Link speed's coming in. Shin loving his 2 base builds. He's actually skipped the inject in the main this time to connect the bases with creep. This creep tumor probably goes over here and then tries to jump to the low ground. Factory goes up. Oh, wait, what is this? Oh, is he doing the exact same? Guys, what the hell? Has Clem decided 2-1-1 count as Shin's build? Because that's exactly the wrong lesson of that last game. I think, you know what? They've been playing so long. The games have been long and arduous. Players are going to start making more mistakes potentially. And he's just like, I'm just going to do the same thing. It worked well. Let's do it again. Let's double. He's just going to double up on what worked. He figures it worked well. It's never an all-in. You can always transition off of this build. Oh, dead Reaper. That Reaper just got ripped apart. One chunk went down here. One chunk went down over there somewhere. I can't quite see it. A big spatter of blood left on the high ground. Looks like it's going to be the more standard Roach version of the build, which he's very confident in. Indeed, Clem just playing a straight 2-1-1. No 3rd command center again. Schwarzenegger was Mr. Freeze in Batman and... Wait, were those 2 different movies? The Penguin one and the Arnie one? In my head, those were the same movie. That's hilarious. So that's Batman and Robin. Oh, okay, those 2. If you combine those 2, it's an even better movie. Because then you get Poison Ivy and Catwoman in the same movie, and Iceman, and that. The Penguin one had Two-Face in. Oh, okay, sorry guys. Game 7 of an epic series, and I'm getting loopy and talking about Batman. Sorry. Evo Chamber's almost finished. We've got another gas coming up right now. So 4 gas, quick Evo. This is not as committed to early aggression. Carapace is going to start in a moment. I wonder if Shin tries to macro out of this. Okay, I mean, he sees what's happening. He's got to make roaches. I think he can squeeze Carapace in just fine, though. I like the Overseer. Oh, Ziggin and Zag. He says, oh, Terran players, you're always dropping the high ground and the low ground. I can go to the high ground, too. Unfortunately, he does die. But he spots the 3rd command center. Carapace does start. And as long as he makes nothing but roaches from here, gets up to 10, 12, maybe 15 roaches at absolute most. Probably 12 is, I think, the sweet spot against a 2-on-1. Because, you know, he can always pick up and boost into the main. So you kind of need to have enough roaches to be able to split them a little bit. Single engineering bay goes down in the wall off. Oh, he hasn't built a third barracks yet, so he's still building another medevac right now. That's bizarre. Roaches are here. Double drop. Realizes now that Zerg's going to be very immobile. A few roaches go across the map. That's cute. Is it good, though? Is he literally just going to pick off SCVs building depots in the wall off? Is that the goal? What is this, guys? Marines trying to fight against the roaches. Good pullback on one of those roaches. 3 Marines for 3 roaches. Good trade for Terran. Roaches cost 75 minerals, 25 gas. So he's making 3 Ravagers. So he wants to do a big Roach Ravager push, but he wants the Ravagers to meet him over there. Kind of cute. I think he's hoping to maybe catch a tank a bit exposed on the front lines. And he figures if you don't see the Ravagers coming, you might not think it's serious. Wow, Shin, just lots of little details in his builds, isn't it? He's Carapace canceled. He canceled Carapace. Oh, he's really committed to this. I didn't realize he was so committed. He's got to kill these Widow Mines. He drops the Biles there, takes out both Widow Mines just before they fire. And he's going to be denying that wall off very quickly. Tanks have just started, guys. He's going to now restart Carapace and start droning, realizing he's got value. He's killed an engineering bay. He's killed depots. And now his goal is to make the SCVs get pulled into the fight. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that. Clem, staying disciplined. A lot of SCVs are dying. Got a kite. I don't know if you can stand and fight here as Shin. But then again, Clem, he's losing a lot of Marines. A lot of the Roaches are stuck behind each other. The Roach Ravager needs to run, though. The Roach Ravager stayed a bit too long. I think he's got to kind of do a lot more kiting with this Roach Ravager. Really use the Ravagers to break the concave. But 7 workers have gone down. Excellent trade so far. Second Evo comes up. And, dude, it looks like Clem's chances... They're not gone, but he's still not got a third barracks on this reactor. I don't think he needs 6 medevacs, you know? I think that third barracks should have floated onto the reactor. The starport should have lifted off and built another reactor. But Clem, he's a bit nervous now. He only feels confident sneaking an 8 Marine drop across. He's down 17 workers. And Shin says, that is my permission to go 1-1, Ling speed, infestation. 4th base down the bottom. How do you guys feel about this 4th? I think you need to really get your creep in front of it to defend this 4th. This 4th is so easy to snipe for Terran. I like that his units are splitting up to do just that. 2 Libs are building right now. Clem feels like Libs are a big comeback unit. You can you know, sneak in the back, and often when a Zerg's ahead, they're occupied looking elsewhere. The Libs surprise them and can really throw them off their game. Remember as well, there's only single engineering bay, guys. The second E-bay is only now going down, and there's no armory, so we can't go straight into +2. 8 Marine drop in the south. Good pick up here for Clem. Your Roaches and Ravagers stay down here, with the rest will move back to the main base. There's a Spore on the bottom side. The Queens can move over and deny this ledge, but Shin, a little slow to do that. Just going to give Clem the freedom to get inside that main if he wants to. Hive has started up. Did Clem see the Hive? He did not. Baneling Nest going down. A little early on the Banelings, I think. I don't think you need Banelings this early. 3 Infestors are coming out. Biles trying to catch the medevac, not quite able to. Here comes the big push on the front. He's going to try and dart in, kill the 5th. He could maybe kill this Evo with +2 Kara. But if he does that, Infestors are out. Oh gosh. If Clem gets cocky and shoves on creep, not expecting Infestors, he could be a very sad Terran. Oh no. Oh no, Clem, not like this! Not like this! Clem! He loves eating fungals more than any other top Terran, but no third fungal! No third fungal, Shin! He gets distracted by the Liberator down the bottom. The Libs came in, distracted him, allows Clem to save a whole bunch of his bio. Oh, the Libs saved the day. It's still a good trade, of course, for Shin, but he's losing 11 workers. The Queen here trying to deal with this drop and Liberator. The Biles are not hitting that Liberator. There we go. It finally goes down. Dropping the high ground as well, though. 24 more drones. Clem is literally, I think he's basically just out-clicking Shin right now. He's saying, guess what? Picked up, dropped in your main, lol. You have to deal with 2 Libs and a drop in your back. Ha ha ha. And honestly, that is insane. He just killed 43 workers. Redrop down here as well. Clem is using strategy, using brawn over brain right now. He says, Shin, you might be a smart boy, but I can out-multitask you even when I'm half asleep, mate. Taste my baguette. 44 drones go down. And that, from a situation where it looked like, tactically, Shin had this game on lockdown. Hive was finishing. Everything was looking amazing. And the power of multi-drops. Terran, all about the multi-prong. The best players in the world are so good at switching gears and going, well, we're in a bad spot. Let's see if we can multi-drop. And we've all, as Terran players, been in that situation. We think, well, I'm probably dead. Time to switch it up. Hit here, hit there, hit 3 bases at once. The Liberators, like I said as well, is such an annoying move. because it requires so much APM to deal with those 2 Liberators and so much focus. And pairing that with the Marines hitting from both sides as well is crazy. Also, you know what else is insane? It's the Marines that could have got hit by the 3rd fungal that were actually the ones that killed another 25 drones. So if he didn't actually, if Shin had landed that 3rd fungal, he's like up 20 workers now. Big fungals available. Clem is miles ahead on the economy. Notice Clem stims a ball of bio at the infestors. The reason he does that, guys, is because he likes to keep his units together so they can concentrate their firepower and stutter step correctly. But obviously it's very bad if he gets hit by the fungal. So Clem basically just likes dancing on the edge of danger and saying, I want to kind of bait your fungals, but dodge them and pull back and spread against them. Usually not spread, usually like make you throw the fungal at the edge of your range and I just run out of range before it lands. It's not a good move for normal people to do. For Clem, he pulls it off a pretty high percentage of the time. Titan is plating on the way, +3 armor as well. Shin has played such a fantastic series. So many build orders, such clever play, and such unique openings. But look at this. Clem has really realized if I can pair libs with bio, this is a very complex problem for you to deal with. It's really frustrating for you to deal with. And look at that. He just drops in the face of the Zerglings. I don't know if that was the right call. He does end up trading. Fungal. Oh, no. He just lost 2 infestors. He lands a fungal. But you can see Clem always is aware of where your attention is. He says, I know you're looking over there. I can shove in here, click on your infestors. I might cop 1 fungal, but I'll kill more stuff than I lose. And that's exactly what he's doing. Clem here with some absolutely disgusting multi-prong. Clem is so good at StarCraft. Down 3-0, refusing to give up. His back has healed. He's learnt a lot from the first time. Bane Ragnarok, aka Shin, picked him up and broke him over his knee. And he has developed, and he has said, I have now found the answer. The answer is the best multi-prong drop play in the entire world. And that is just a freakish comeback in this series. Down 3-0, now running circles around him. He's got a 4th base fully established, 6 command centers. This is what happens, guys, when Clem starts just clicking and flowing. He's not thinking anymore, he's just clicking. And that's actually good. You don't want to be stopping to think in a StarCraft game. It's real times first, strategy second. And he's just, his macro, while microing like this, when Beyond plays like this, his macro fails a little bit. There's some trade-offs. Clem does not have trade-offs. He does get hit by his own Widow Mine there. You can see his money is staying incredibly low. He's constantly tapping his production, building units, popping home, landing command centers, building more orbitals, and attacking in one spot while defending in another. What an absolute freak, man. Playing against Clem, if you guys ever feel like StarCraft's a very fair, competitive game, I advise you to play against Clem and realize that it's only as fair as your opponent's multitasking lets it be. Oh, that was sick, actually. His Widowmine killed his own army. Nice move for Shin. The bio here, point being, when you're playing Clem, it's never a fair match. He is the best player in the world when it comes to speed, and you've got to try and avoid these multitasking situations. Normally, Shin is a master of avoiding an absolute crap scramble, messy situation that's all about the multitasking. But you can see here, Clem, in that moment, very quickly realized what he had to do. And he knew he was behind after the opening, and he was like, I guess we build 2 libs? Because that's annoying to deal with. Like, this was such a good start for Shin. Gets a bunch of SCVs in mining time, picks off some Marines, only trades slightly negatively while taking his 4th. And I think when that attack hit, what was that, like 8.5? So the libs are going to come out. He's going to send the libs in, 1 down each side of the map. This drop's just trying to distract, trying to be annoying. He has no idea about the infestors. So he's like, okay, I've got a lib down here. This drop can't find a way in, but I'll send the libs in. 1 from both sides. So he sends that lib there, queues it onto that base. He sends this lib and queues it in a moment to hit that base. And he stims in the middle at the same time. So he's planning this. Drop here, lib here, stim here. And he goes, oh no! And at this point, it's checkmate. Shin has completely shut him down. If he drops 1 more fungal, every Marine dies. You can't pick up while you're getting fungaled. But he saves them. Why? Shin's going, oh crap, there's a lib here, there's a lib here, there's a drop here, oh god. And it's like totally just, of course you missed that fungal. But look how much damage these specific Marines that get saved in those medevacs do. Because Shin, he still takes a fair bit of damage over here to the libs. You can see, okay, he's like, okay, I'll send Ravagers to deal with that one. Just a lot of APM to do that. And this Liberator's, okay, these drones, I can go back to mining. Why did he go back to mining, guys? Because he pulled the drones away from the drop to here. he never even noticed this lib because he'd already pulled away from the drop. So he sends the drones back to mining, which is good multitasking, until you realize there's actually been a lib there the whole time. That's sieged up in the middle of this. So the drones go back to mining, and Clem, being the D-head that he is, unloads the Marines. Meanwhile, those Marines from earlier, they've lifted in, and they've dropped on the high ground, and look how much damage they do here. They drop on the ledge, and they kill so many workers. These are the Marines that would have died to the third fungal. What a fine margin there is in this game between Shin just running away with the game and him losing his entire economy to these Marines. Oh my god. And look, the lib got dealt with, but then the Marines came back in. And because those roaches were those 43, 44 drones, I think it ended up being. Just devastating. He redrops there again, picks up, drops, picks up, drops, picks up, drops. Oh, the double lib is one of those moves. It's kind of expensive. And I'd say at lower level, it's got a ridiculously high win percentage. I think at pro level, if players did it more, it would have a lower win percentage. They only do it in either big tournaments or when they're kind of behind. So the Zergs, the Protoss players, even the Terrans, Oliveira was doing this a lot in TvT when he won his world championship. And yeah, you can just see how annoying he is with these drops. Crazy damage. Crazy damage. Floats his fourth out, has a new army, has 2-2 halfway done. I mean, this is just a stellar comeback. And it looked like Shin had him in a really screwed position in this game as well, which makes it all the more impressive. A 4-win-in-a-row comeback from down 0-3. Clem refuses to go down in this tournament after being forced to the final map of multiple series in a row. GG, well played. Well, if you guys enjoy Zerg players with creative strategies, outthinking Clem, and then dying because he's just too fast and too good at this game, and his multitasking is insane, you can support my Patreon. Or if you don't like it, you can support the Patreon. If you like the casts, you can support the Patreon. Check it out. Links below. There's some cool extra perks for you guys. A special thanks to everyone who's here on the Wall of Bacon. Especially thanks Pete and Drago, Siren, Oko H, our conductors of the D-Town Express, as well as everybody else over there. A massive thanks to all of you. We really appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye and good night.